And welcome to another episode of Lexx Education. The crowd goes wild. The comedies, I so nearly went the only podcast about books then. Nearly did another podcast's catchphrase. The science comedy podcast where comedian me, Laura Lexx, tries to learn science from my real life brother Ron.
Hello, I do that as well. I constantly want to start every episode with, hi and welcome to Lexx Education, the podcast panel show that...
Yeah, it's very hard when you listen to a lot of podcasts. Anyway, you need to say hello, I'm Ron.
I did. Hello, I'm Ron.
I thought you said hello and then started saying
No, I said hello.
I'm sorry. Yeah. How are you, Ron?
Yes. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I've made some good strides this week. So, you'll know, the other day I was sad. So what do you do when you're sad? You take personality tests online. So I did that and, came back with some stuff that was like, oh, you should probably see a GP. And I've got a new counsellor, Ron. I've signed up to therapy again.
Ooh, well done.
Which feels like a good step forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In person? Online?
I think the first one's going to be in person to go and see if we get on. And then if she's the one, then maybe online to fit in with my jet-setting lifestyle. Or she's based in Brighton, so I could always pop round. Depends if her tissues are nicer than the tissues I have at home.
That's much healthier than what I did when I was having a bad morning recently, where I've spoken to a couple of people that are a similar age to me, but the older I get, the less I get hangovers and the more I'm just horrifically anxious the day after drinking. Mm-hmm. So I'd had a few beers and I woke up in the morning, I was very anxious and I was like, you know what, I'll do some exercise, that will make me feel better. So I went to the gym, I did 5 sets on one machine, almost threw up on my shoes. Left, ate an entire tube of Pringles on the way home, and then worked for 8 hours.
Yeah. Oh, I hate the hangover paranoia.
That's the worst.
I hate it. Like now I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is go, what did I tweet? Oh, God.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Anyway, listen. The light of our lives, the lab rats, you've been a delight this week. There's been a lot of can you melt wood chat on the socials. Mm-hmm. Lots of chat, everybody getting involved. I've really enjoyed these discussions and I've actually read some of the articles.
I think I've incited a few people to start fires, which is not what I wanted.
I was wondering if we need to put a disclaimer, like, please don't set fire to your houses. Like, we accept no liability for any experiments gone wrong. I think my
Sorry, I was just going to say, because my point when I say prove that you can't is not show me a piece of wood burning. I'm saying it's very difficult to prove a negative. Like, it's very difficult to prove that you can't do something.
Yeah. Why? How did you feel, though? Simon on Twitter changed the game for me by theorising that perhaps because you can freeze and vaporise wood is already melted.
Now, I didn't weigh in on Twitter, but what on earth is frozen wood?
Well, that's what I wasn't sure. Is that just if wood's wet, the water in it freezes? Or... But I know you can petrify wood.
I've never seen frozen wood.
Oh, I think it's a
you?
Beatles song. No, I haven't, but I don't know what we're talking about most of the time. I really enjoyed, we had a really lovely Instagram message from Han, who said there are trees in Tenerife that have no oxygen in them, so they don't burn, and therefore they survive wildfires, and they live on the slopes of a volcano.
Yeah, that was super interesting.
That's great, isn't it? We're very here for that sort of content, so thank you, Han. And we're sorry that you've caught up and only have one episode a week now. Ugh, there's nothing quite like that pang. Oh, for now. Should we tease that at the end of the episode?
I've just teased it now.
Yes, tease now. I know there's other people playing catch up too. Abby got in touch. She's just reached the down episode and power walked with rage laughter, laughed so much she felt sick. So I think that's a good thing.
I noticed she replied to your tweet twice because the first time she literally just said, that made me feel sick. And then I think she went like, oh no, that sounds like in a bad way, and did another tweet.
Oh, that's nice. I like that Jeff on Twitter is also offering to start a Down Survivors group if necessary. So, yeah, we're very glad that you like the name Bunsen for the rat. There is some chat about a Twitter account being started for the rat. Hey, you do you, lab rats. I can't do any more social media or I will need 3 therapists, not 1. So, we're going into chemistry this week, aren't we, Ron?
We are indeed back into the heady
No, or
bits
is it
of-
physics?
No.
No, it's
Yeah.
physics. It's physics.
It's physics. Yeah, idiot. Physics.
It's physics
Back into
this week.
electricity. This is how little a shit we give about electricity. We can't even remember which one of the frickin' topics it is.
Oh, God, I hated this.
But this is a fun one.
Is it, though?
Yeah, we had visual aids.
That's true. But then you got mad at me for enjoying the visual aids. Anyway, enjoy. See you afterwards. Ron, I've just realised something.
What have you just realised?
It's physics today.
It is. It is. I mean, the last physics was garbage.
Oh, it was electricity, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, not our favourite, but better than relative forces.
Yes. that
Resultant
is true.
forces.
But we do have to redo resultant forces at some point.
Why?
I told you this at the time because that was out of order.
What do you mean?
I got so I didn't have the tight system that I've got now for sort of like knowing exactly where I'm up to in the syllabus, i.e., writing that down. And we shouldn't have covered resultant forces at that point.
No wonder it was so difficult for me.
Yes.
Poor me.
So we do, which I think is fast becoming a fan favourite. We will get to do a sequel to that episode.
That feels like a bad idea. All right, what are we doing today then? Is it more electricity or are we moving on to something else?
Yes, we are doing more electricity, but we're doing it kind of in a slightly bigger way. So I think it's going to be all right.
All right, like a whole power station.
I've
I've drawn a face on this grape.
Oh, lovely.
That's cute, isn't it? I'm cute.
Okay, so can you remember where we left off last physics?
Not off the top of my head, but let's have a look at my notes. So, we were... Oh, I do remember that electricity is like a water slide for electrons. And it's just that the battery is the pump, not like full of the electricity. It's just pumping the electrons around and then they're like leaving their charge all over the place. Oh, there was all that absolute rot about resistors. I didn't care for that. Nope, that's notes from a gig I was emceeing. Why did I have this notebook with me? Yeah, so I've decided not to worry about resistors, but we did quite a lot of that.
Yeah, and it was super visual. And it wasn't super fun. And I think it's where my enthusiasm for what we've been talking about has really waned the most.
Well, let's make a pact to make it fun together today.
And I think I've got a great idea for that. So the first thing that we're going to jump into today is series and parallel circuits.
Series and parallel circuits.
Yes.
Okay. A
essentially-
parallelogram, that used to be one of my favourite words.
It's a good word. I like a parallelogram.
You didn't say it right then. Parallelogram, you said.
Parallelogram.
You said parallelogram.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, it's a good word. I like a parallelogram. Parallelogram.
You little worm.
Yes, so there's two ways of joining electrical components, in series or in parallel. Okay?
Okay.
In series, that is just like a simple loop. So we're talking battery, wire, light, wire, back to the battery.
Okay.
Literally just a simple circle. In a parallel circuit, it has a split in it. So it would be like battery, wire, that splits into 2 wires. Each of those has a buzzer and a light on it. And then those 2 bits will join back up, and then the wire goes back to the battery. Yeah?
Okay.
Did that make sense?
Absolutely.
So what I thought we could
Sometimes when it is simple, I feel like maybe I didn't understand it and I've just imagined a simpler thing.
No, it is quite simple. So I thought, because... do you want to take a look at that link I've just sent you?
On the WhatsApp web?
Ye old WhatsApp web.
Let me have a look on the WhatsApp web. So Ron is sending me a link to... Oh, God. Take it out of her. No, put it back in. No, take it back out. No, I'm only kidding. Ron has sent me a link to fet.colorado.edu, and we're looking at a circuit construction kit... DC, which means direct current.
Yeah, we'll learn a bit about that.
Woohoo! I remember that. Alternate and direct current, AC/DC. Alternating, that's it. And I've got two buttons I can click here. One says intro, and it has a light bulb. And one says lab, and it has like a copper wire, I think, with two little buzzy prods on it.
Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I'm just telling the listener what we're looking at, Ronald.
Well, you'll have noticed, Laura, that I'm recording our Zoom call today, so we can turn this all into great content.
Ooh.
So if you click on lab...
All right. Lab.
So what we're going to do is you're going to make us a series circuit and then an in parallel circuit.
Okay. Oh, I pressed it again. Sorry.
That's fine. Okay, cool. So you can
light
drag...
bulb.
You can drag stuff from there. Yep. So what I want you to do is I just want you to connect that to a battery in series.
Whoa!
Okay? So Laura's extending the wire and unextending it.
Battery.
She's put a battery on the end of it.
I'm not fucking about with these resistors. Ooh.
Okay. So
I'm using an unnecessary amount of wire.
She's also connected the two wires to the same side of the battery.
Are you not supposed to do that? Well,
Have you ever used a battery before, Laura?
Yeah, sometimes, actually, Mr. Know-It-All, those big fat batteries where you clip the thing on, they are up the top, both ends.
Is the battery in question one of those?
I can't get it off now. Oh, some scissors. This doesn't feel like the item that you need. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh, no.
She's detached the battery again.
Everything's... Okay, right. Done that.
Right. I've not asked you to put a switch in.
What did you ask me to do? I wasn't listening. Sorry.
Just connect the light bulb to the battery in series. So she's connected the wire.
Oh, no! The battery's on fire!
She's connected both sides of the wires to the same side of the light, which is completely...
what the hell?
There we go.
Oh, wait, that is unnecessarily confusing that the light bulb has two sides. That is not how a light bulb works.
Well, a light bulb will have an anode and a cathode.
Right.
Cool. So, Laura, describe to the listener what we're looking at here if you stop squiggling the battery around.
So, we are looking at the light bulb now looks like it is the Jesus of light bulbs. Rays of halo saintly light are coming out from the top of it. There are two wires coming out of the light bulb. One of them very awkwardly perched on the side, which is going to make this light bulb very difficult to screw in. One coming out the bottom. Those wires go out and go to either side of a battery. Then, dancing around in a very patient... It's not really a dance. It's not a dance. It's a slow-moving cue, are what I assume are the electrons making their way round the system.
Absolutely, yes. You will see on the right-hand side of your screen that we have a voltmeter and an ammeter that we can play with.
Oh, sure we do.
So do you want to grab those and we will do some testing?
Okay, I've got the voltmeter.
Cool, so you can
use... The voltmeter is... Oh, and I can change how long the wires are. Woo! The voltmeter is a little packet thing, and then it's got like a black pen coming out of one side and a red pen coming out the other side, attached by wires.
Yep, so you can put those on the wires to find out the potential difference across there.
Okay, so I've put my red wire on the light bulb and my black wire on the copper end of the battery. And the voltmeter is now reading -9 volts.
Yeah, so I think you need to swap the pens around to get an accurate reading.
Right.
Which isn't something I knew, but there we go.
Well, now it says 9 volts.
Yeah, so what that is saying is that the potential difference across the light bulb is 9 volts. By that, we know that it's a 9-volt battery. Okay?
Well, or a -9 volt battery.
No.
Why not?
Because voltage is relative to...
It's all relative.
To where you're measuring... Well, like all things, it's relative to sort of what you're measuring it compared to. So if we measure it in the right direction, it's 9 volts.
What do you mean the right direction? How would you know that?
Because of the positive and negative sides of the battery and like the way that the electrons are going round.
Oh, okay.
So could you get the ammeter now for me?
Ammeter.
Just the one with the target thing is the one that we want.
There's 2 types of ammeter. I'll put one back in the bin. So the ammeter has a very similar little bucket to the voltage meter, but instead of the pens, it's just got a single, target basically coming out on a string.
Yeah, so we know that in a series circuit, the current is going to be the same all the way around it, okay?
Yes, it is 0.9 amps. What's an amp again?
So it's the unit of current.
That's how fast the electrons are moving.
Yeah, it's the flow of charge.
Yeah.
It's not how fast they're moving, it's the amount of charge that is flowing through.
Same
okay?
thing, yeah.
Not the same thing, but that's okay. Cool. So... From your notes from last time...
Good luck.
Can you work out what the resistance of that bulb is?
4? 10.
10 what?
Ohms.
Yes, correct. Because it's 0.9 amps. I'm not sure if we said that.
I think, did I? I don't know. That's what I used for my guess anyway. That there's 9 volts and 0.9 amps. So I was like, if you move the decimal place 1 point to the left, that's a 10.
Okay, cool. And then what I want you to do is I want you to cut up your circuit and we're going to put another bulb in it, okay?
All right. I'm taking my pens off, taking my target off. Where are my scissors? Scissors is the wrong thing. I'm sad that they've used scissors.
Yeah, you want wire clippers or something like that, right?
Right, I'm getting another light bulb out of the little box, putting it
And I just want to say to everyone listening, I'm sorry that this isn't the most audio engaging medium that we could have done this, but it would have been a damn sight more boring if we'd just talked about it. So.
Yeah, listen, I've put 2 light bulbs in the circuit now, and they are distinctly less Jesus-y than they were previously.
Jesus Christ.
They still look like the stained glass window sort of recreations of saints and stuff, but these are like your lesser known saints.
So these 2 lights, we would now say, are in series with each other, okay?
Yeah, because they're in the same continuous circuit.
Yeah, do you want to just drag that battery down? So
no, it looks really cool where it is.
It does look cool. Nobody's denying that.
I've put the battery over the long wire between the lights, and now there's like a little spaghetti junction in the middle of all the electrons.
It looks kind of like one of those S's that you draw on paper when you're at school.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, if you drag that down,
Why?
Just please.
Why?
So that we can see the circuit easily.
We can see the circuit. Use your
Nora.
mind.
Nora,
Be
we're
smart.
not going to do fun interactive things like this anymore if you abuse them.
I'm not abusing it. I've made it cool. All right, I'm dragging it down.
Okay, cool. Right. Grab the
Put it over there in the corner.
You are a little shit. She has dragged it off.
My friend who's a teacher has started listening to this podcast, and she texted me yesterday, Charlotte, friend of the podcast. She's like...
Charlotte. Hey, Charlotte.
She was like, you in that last episode were in full year 10 don't give a shit mode. I was like, yeah. Okay, I've moved it where you asked me to.
Right, can you stop being a fucking problem and just, like, move them in a back where they were in a nice configuration?
You said you didn't like it back where they were. There we go. I've put it back where it was now.
We will not do fun things like this again. I will cancel the school trip.
Can we do a school trip? We should do a meetup with National Treasures where we do a school
go to the Science
trip.
Museum or something.
Yeah. Crossover episode.
That will do. Can you please use the voltmeter to check the voltage from one side of the circuit to the other?
Sure. So I'm putting the black pen on the butt of the battery, and the red pen.
No, just the whole... Not the fucking furthest left point and the furthest right point. Like the start and beginning of the circuit.
I don't know where that is.
What do you mean you don't know what that is? It's a circle.
Yeah,
like on the
circles
either side,
don't have start and end.
Either side of the battery.
You are so rude to me because it's a circle. How can you not know where the beginning and end is? Because of what you just fucking said. It's a fucking circle. And you said the battery is just the pump. It isn't even the product maker. So why would that be the beginning and the end? The electrons can start from anywhere.
But why would 2 points that you've randomly defined while you were dicking around, moving it around the screen, be the start and the finish?
Because they're the furthest away from each other.
Yeah, but you could bend it a different way, and
You
different
just said
points
I
would
couldn't.
You are in trouble. Put it on the other side of the battery.
There we go. Well done. Okay. That's boring, isn't it? It's actually a different number now I've put it on the end of the battery.
Yeah, because it fucking matters where you put it.
Well, then what? I thought voltage always remained constant.
No, current is the same all the way around.
Oh, because I put this by the light bulbs, it's 4.5 volts. But if I put it over so that it's on the other end of the battery, it's 9 volts again.
Yep. So potential difference. So it's the difference in voltage between in energy between those 2 points. So when you're only
halfway up, you're neither up nor down.
When you've only gone past one light bulb, it's used half of the potential difference because you've gone through half of the resistance of the circuit.
Not according to my voltmeter.
Why?
It says 4.5 after each light bulb.
No, because if you look at like the bottom bit of that light bulb is where the electrons are coming out, isn't it? No, the one on the right.
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
4.5.
Okay.
9.
Yeah, so...
What? Well, how's it gone back up? What's happening?
No, because if you put it on the left-hand side of the left light bulb, it's going to be 0. Because there's no potential difference there.
Oh, because no electrons have gone anywhere. So before the electrons get into the first light bulb, it's at 9. Then you put it coming out.
No, it's at 0.
It's at 0. and then you put it coming out of the first light bulb, 4.5. Then you put it coming out of the second one, it's back to 9 again. No, because it wasn't 9, it was 0. Oh dear. And then by the time it gets back to the battery, it's lost all its volts.
Yes, exactly.
Greedy little light bulbs sucking it all up.
So, do you want to see what the current is now?
More than anything, that's what I want to do. How did you find this website, you creep?
I googled circuit builder for children.
You didn't.
I literally did. And then most of them seemed a bit advanced, so I had to do some digging.
If you're going to be this rude all day, you can teach someone else science, mister. Right, the current is 0.45 amps. So that's changed. Because it's divided by 10 and a half. 10 and 50. What? It's divided in half and 10. Yeah? Yeah?
Why? What? So what you've essentially done is you've just doubled the resistance of the circuit, haven't you?
Yeah. Huh? Is that what's current again?
Current's the flow of electrons. So you told me when there was only one bulb in there, that it was that the resistance of one of the light bulbs was 10 ohms. Right?
Ohms, yes.
So now, what do you think the resistance is? Now there's 2.
10 and a half.
Why?
Because now it's 0.45, which is half of 0.9, and it's done a 10 multiple.
So last time, you divided 9 by 10 to get 0.9, right? So, and that's how you ended up at the number 10. So, what do you have to divide 9 by to get 0.45?
2 and 10? What's that?
Yeah, 2 and 10, 20. Yeah, well done. So when resistors...
I just cannot explain how much this stresses me out, and all ability to think fades out of my brain. Like, I'm worried sometimes someone will listen to this and take my driver's license away. Yeah. That doesn't feel right. Is that 20? 9 divided by 20 is 0.45.
Well, yeah, because you divided it by twice as much, so the answer is halved.
Yeah. I think in my head it's just more obvious to go, I'll divide it by 2 and then 10, rather than 20.
That's not what you said before.
I did, I said 2 and 10.
Yeah, but before you said 10 and a half.
No, I meant a half and 10. Like, don't divide it by a half, because that is the sort of maths that is actually impossible to do. But divide it in half, not by a half.
If you divide by a half, you just times it by 2.
No, don't say that, please.
Yeah, 10 divided by a half is 20.
Let's not do this.
No, but if you think about dividing as how many of them are in there are 20 halves in 10.
That's not how I think about dividing.
You should, it makes it much easier.
Okay, so divide by 20. So is a light... What are we learning? What's happening here?
So the principle that we're learning here is that when you have resistors, or things that have resistance, like light bulbs, in a series, to work out the total resistance of the circuit, you just add them together.
Okay.
That's probably going to come up in the test. So write that down.
So how do I know what the resistance is?
So last time we know the formula, don't we? V equals IR. Voltage equals current times resistance.
Voltage equals current times resistance.
So we just need to rearrange that, don't we?
Why is that E and IR?
V equals IR.
How do you get current out of that?
You just use I for current.
That is bananas.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, I'll give you that, but that's just what it is. It's like E equals MC squared. The C stands for the speed of light. Doesn't make any sense, but that's just what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so V equals IR. So to get R on its own, we do V divided by I equals R. So 9 divided by 0.45 equals 20. Understand?
Absolutely.
And look away for 1 second.
I've accidentally attached this wrong. Whoa, I can increase the ohms. Uh-oh, I've joined that together now.
Okay, wait. Okay, stop for a second. Because I need you to build... No, stop.
I want to.
Because I need
Can
you
I
to
just
build
have a break for a minute to just play with this? Hey, if I make this light bulb have more resistance, the other light bulb gets dimmer.
Yep.
Ooh. It's like these light bulbs are having really different ideas. Okay, sorry. Carry on now, Rom.
Okay, cool. So I need you now, what we're going to do is we're going to build a parallel circuit, okay?
Like a parallel universe. Shall I just have a go at that on my own first?
Yeah, so basically I want if you just move those
I'm very
bits and pieces
hungry.
out of the way. I want a battery that is feeding 2 light bulbs that are on different loops, but starting on the same loop, if that makes sense.
I'll give
It's quite
it
hard to
my
explain.
best shot, Ron.
Yeah, so there can only be one wire going in and out of the battery, but I want them on different paths, essentially.
Okay, so I've got a battery, and I've put a wire on each side.
She's made it look like a nice hat. Now she's got a bulb, and she's bringing that in.
So I'm going to put one light bulb
attached that
just
there.
on, like normal.
Okay, but then that's going to be in series with the other one, isn't it? Because the electricity has to go through that light bulb. Okay, she's made the same circuit as last time, just smaller.
I was thinking!
She's made a triangle.
You are so
She's
rude.
created one side.
Okay.
She's disconnected the other side. That's progress, but she doesn't know it.
Ron, I'm going to throw something at your head in a minute. Let's do that.
I don't know if any of our listeners have seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, but it's a little bit like when the monkey picks up the bone. Okay,
That looks like a horse.
I praise the use of wires. So now she's just adding lots of wires. She's making it worse, but she doesn't know it.
Can you stop it? You are not building
Well, you're not saying anything.
my confidence. Well, the light bulbs aren't on yet.
It's not a circuit at the moment.
No, the battery's on fire again. No, okay. Well, actually,
Okay, right.
so now, right, what I've done here is I tried to make 2 separate circuits and then join them together, but the battery has gone on fire. But it has now helpfully showed me how the electrons move. So maybe I can do something with that. What am I doing?
You're making 2 light bulbs in parallel.
I don't think this is possible, actually. Right, stop being on fire, okay? Thank you. Right, I don't think we need that wire. Let's get rid of that one. So, that one's over there.
Try having the second bulb sort of coming out of that bit there on a wire. Okay, cut it.
Ron, I'm working on it. Just,
Yeah, I am trying to help. I'm being nice.
yeah.
Yeah. So put that bulb on that bit that you've just left there, that little dangler in the middle. Yeah, okay. Cool. Yep.
I did it, Ron!
Hang on, let me just work out if you have done it. You've done it weirdly.
Some of the electrons are going one way and some of them are changing their minds and going down.
Yeah, I think you've done it, you know?
By Jove, I've bloody done it.
Yeah.
It's ugly, but it is 2 different circuits. So the battery, now that I've organised it a bit more easy to see, the battery is in the middle of like a rectangle. And then the battery's got a wire going up from it up to the top of the rectangle, and some of the electrons go left and some of them go right. Then there's a bulb on the left and a bulb on the right, and then they all come down back to the middle and up back to the battery in the middle of the rectangle.
Yeah, so it's so what you've made there is 2 bulbs in parallel. So essentially 2 loops coming off the same battery. So so do you want to test the voltage across the battery, please?
Danger! High voltage! When we touch, when we kiss. And according to Ron, the beginning and end of the circuit is either end of the battery. So I have put the black pen on the butt of the battery. The battery. And did you go to Richard Jewish College, Ron?
Yep.
Was it still called the Buttery where you went for lunch when you were there?
No, it's called the canteen.
You didn't call it the Buttery?
No, they didn't serve butter.
No, they didn't serve butter. Well, they would have served some butter. It was just called the Buttery. There was the cafe and the Buttery.
I don't know. I never used to. You never used to get food there, to be honest. I had the best time at Richard Jewish.
Yeah, I think I had a good time. My only problem was all my, which I would have loved if, I never had any, gaps in my day. You know, some people would have, a 3-hour gap.
Free periods,
So I never really got to just hang out during the day. It was always I'm done for the day.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, which is kind of nice. All my lessons were always just stacked with each other. But it did mean I never got that, I guess I'll just sit around and do nothing for 3 hours.
Yeah, that does suck. But anyway, Richard Jewish, send your kids. Cool, right. So, could you now do the voltage across one of the light bulbs for me, please?
Oh, we're doing something fancy. So, I'm taking my black pen, I'm putting it going into the light bulb. And I'm taking my red pen, putting it coming out of the light bulb. This one is 9 voltage.
Cool beans. And then... So do you remember when they were in series with each other and there were 2 light bulbs, it was 4.5 volts across each one, wasn't it?
Was it? Yes.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Cool beans. And it will be the same. It will be 9 volts again for the other one. So yeah, then do you want to find out what the current is?
Yes. I take my little tracking meter. The current on the battery is 1.8. And it's also...
And then what about each of the branches?
I'm imagining this will be 0.9 because... excuse me doing a little burp. It's because I've been eating grapes. I imagine this will be 0.9 because it's a pretty even split of electrons going left and right. It is 0.9, everybody. Divided by 1 and 1. 2.
Yes, So what you might notice as being quite interesting there is that the resistance of the whole circuit is a lot lower when we put them in parallel than it would be even if there was just one bulb in series. Remember?
I've got a nose whistle, can you hear?
Yeah, I could hear.
Does it sound like a storm where you are?
Yes, it does. Well done.
What were you saying then? I was not listening at all.
So you might have noticed that the resistance of the whole circuit, even though we've got 2 light bulbs in this one...
What's the resistance again?
I don't know how I can say that in other words.
Resistance is the current.
No, current's the fucking current.
Resistance is...
Is the resistance ohms?
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
What's it doing?
Resisting. Resistance to the current.
But we measure the resistance...
via that formula.
With the current.
Yeah, and the voltage. V equals IR.
Oh my god. It's like
this
Teflon.
Isn't like fucking,
it's just not going in.
It's not like 50 First Dates. This is like fucking Memento.
I've never seen that. It looked too boring.
Oh, Memento's a brilliant film. You need to start tattooing this on your body, is basically what I'm saying. The resistance of the circuit is lower than if there was just one bulb in series. That's the important point that we're trying to learn here.
Because the electrons are splitting off to go different places.
Yeah, so there's more routes for them to go, so the resistance of the whole shebang is less.
That makes sense. Does it? Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What's resistance again? Resistance. What is resistance, though? Don't say ohms. I know that. It's things slowing them down.
Yeah, as they go through.
And does the wire itself slow stuff down?
In practice, yes. When you're doing calculations and stuff, you assume that the wire has 0 resistance because things like copper wire do have very, very little resistance.
Yeah, okay. So wait, this has less resistance than a single...
Than a single bulb
on a
Going
circuit
around
would
one
be.
wire. Yeah.
Why does it?
Oh, but you just said that.
Yeah, and it made so much sense 20 seconds ago. And now it makes no sense at all.
Okay, so let's use the water analogy.
Because they're
right?
loose. They're just loose.
Let's use the water analogy.
No.
Okay?
Is it just
Why?
because...
Why? Why can't I try and explain? You asked. Why?
Because I did understand it, and then it fleeted away again. And now it's fleeting back a little bit, and I want to see if I understand it. No, go on, use the water analogy.
So let's just imagine that instead of a wire, it's just a hose going around in a circle, okay? And water is flowing around that hose,
Yep.
okay? Then to simulate resistance, let's say maybe we squeeze the pipe at one point and put some resistance into the system, okay?
Yep.
If it was split in two, and then the water was going around two hoses instead of one, even if we squeezed both of them, the water's got twice as much hose to go through. So the total resistance of the system is less.
Okay.
So more water can get through. That makes sense?
Sure.
It's just us two. So, like, I need you to... don't fob me off.
Oh, Ron, I understand 100%.
No, but do you understand?
I think I do. But I can't be sure I still will in a couple of minutes.
That's fine. Sometimes it's really hard to know if you're being sincere, which is fine if we were in a class of 30, because I'd talk to one of the kids that I liked more. But unfortunately, it's just us two.
Who would you like more than me?
I don't know. Someone that got it.
I do
Okay.
get it. I'm getting it.
I'm afraid it is time to say goodbye to the circuit builder, Laura.
Aww. I'm just going to stop sharing mine. I'm going to keep it open. I'm going to play with this when you've gone away.
Okay, but you need to play with it when I've gone away, not for the rest of this record, okay? Okay, so we're going to learn a little bit about mains electricity.
Why don't we learn about Utah's instead?
We...
Do you know what, Ron? If this was a classroom, I'd entertain a child I liked more, that gave me more laughs on my brilliant jokes that I come up with in the nick of time.
That's not true, because you've been in classrooms and I think you sat at the front quietly wearing your brownie sash, taking diligent notes.
Yeah, which is baffling to me now. Like, this must have just gone in when I was 15.
Yeah, you were such a fucking swot back then.
Well, yeah, I was worried about getting into trouble, but now I realise that it doesn't really matter how smart you are or how hard you work. Sometimes life just doesn't work out. I just can't see the point in trying. Oh, wasted 15 years becoming a brilliant comedian just to watch everybody else do Taskmaster instead of me. Fuck it. Why bother trying?
So we're going to learn about mains electricity.
Cool. Can't wait. Mains electricity.
Do you know what type of current comes out of a plug?
Alternating current.
Yep. Do you know what the difference between alternating current and direct current is?
One alternates and one is direct.
Alternates what?
Direction.
Yeah. Alternates basically its potential difference. So that is direction of flow of charge, direction of current.
Slide.
Yep. Do you know what voltage the mains
240 volts in the UK.
230, I'm afraid.
No, 240.
I think it says in the syllabus 230. It's probably just most things are tested up to 240.
Yeah, I'm sure everything I own says 240 volts on it.
Well, yeah, because it will fluctuate a bit. So if they only did it to...
electricity supply. Yeah, you're right, Ron. God.
And then it is 50 hertz.
It used to be 240 volts in the UK.
Oh, is it?
When did it change? In 2009. Yeah, which was when I passed my electrician's badge. So,
Yeah.
okay.
And it's 50 hertz.
What?
Do you know what that means?
50 punches?
So hertz is the
God, give me something! Van
Right,
rental?
Let's do it again. No, that's done by
Hertz. Van
Eurocar.
rental. Europe car.
Is that not a thing?
You can't even do jokes.
No, I'm here for the science.
Yeah, so give me like a little moment of joy when I do a joke.
All right, do another one of hertz.
Okay, ask me again.
Do you know what 50 hertz
Everybody hurts 50. I'll give him the great
means?
pair now.
REM? More like resistance EM.
Woo! It's getting stanky in here. Oh, I can just hear iPhones up and down the country clacking off.
So do you know what 50 hertz is?
No, I don't think we've covered Hertz yet.
No, so they are the SI unit of frequency, and it essentially boils down to per second.
How frequent per second?
Yeah, so the AC electrical current in the UK goes back and forth 50 times a second.
Whoa. That means almost nothing to me.
Yeah,
It goes back and forth where? How far?
Well, the current changes direction 50 times a second.
How far apart is it going? Hey, look, I found another grape that had a split in it, so I've given that one a little face too.
That's horrifying.
I'll take some pictures of these grapes for the Instagram. Don't worry, everyone.
What do you mean, how far?
Well, when you say it's changing direction 50 times a second, how far are those electrons getting before they turn around and go back the other way?
I mean, we can work that out. Speed of electrons in a wire. So they're going about 0.02 centimeters per second.
And just that's enough to just bump
So
their
then
charge
if we
off to
divide
someone
that
else.
by 50, 0.0004 centimeters.
Not very far then.
No. What are you looking at now?
I'm taking pictures of the grapes for the Instagram.
So the UK actually has a higher voltage plugs than most other countries.
Yeah, man.
Which is why we're one of the few countries where kettles are really pervasive.
Is that why that is?
Yeah, because it takes ages in other countries because the voltage isn't as high.
Oh.
I think in Europe it's like they're like 180 or something like that mainly, but I think in the US it's like 120, so it would take like over twice as long to boil a cup of tea.
Jeez. And they don't even really like tea. They put it all in the harbour.
No, they wait for ages and then they go, ugh. Oh my god, that's disgusting.
That is
Once they've
bad.
made it. Yeah, and then that's what I wanted us to know about that. And then the last bit that we're going to do today is on the 3-core cable. So most things that plug into the mains, they have a 3-core cable. Do you know what those are?
Cable. Pardon? What?
Do you know what the 3 cores of the cable are?
Yes. Earth, live, and neutral.
Yes. Do you know what colours each of those things are?
Yeah, the live one is red. And then it's no, is it not?
No. Yeah.
One's brown. No, it's brown, blue, and green and yellow, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they used to be red, black, and green and yellow, but
yeah, I think it's the because I rewired a plug recently because the plug on our vacuum cleaner broke, and so I cut the wire off and put a new one on.
It's the unintuitive way.
Yeah,
around.
that's what's messing with my head a bit. Is the green and yellow, is that the earth wire?
Yep.
Yeah. And then the brown is live
Yeah,
and blue is neutral.
absolutely. And do you know what those three things do?
I would guess that the brown has the electrons pumping through it.
Carries the current.
Yes.
Yeah. But don't forget there's alternating current. So like the electrons aren't flowing in, they're going back and forth.
Okay, well, there's zizzing.
Yep.
The earth wire must be a sort of safety feature, so that probably grounds it so that if too much electricity floods through, it can take it somewhere safe.
Yeah, so the earth wire stops whatever it is that you're using from becoming live itself.
Right.
So that if for some reason the live and the neutral went across whatever it is, that electricity will just go to ground rather than going through that.
I don't know what the neutral wire is doing, though. See, this I like because this is practical.
Yeah, so that just completes the circuit.
Oh, okay.
But it's neutral because obviously the potential difference is across whatever you're using. So by the time the the potential difference gets to the blue end, I think it's all been used up. I think it doesn't matter. It's not in the syllabus. I thought I really understood it, and then I lost confidence as I was saying it.
That's how I felt just now, Ron, for the whole episode.
Yeah, because it says here, the potential difference between the live wire and earth, 0 volts, is to about 230. The neutral wire is at or close to earth potential. The earth wire is at 0 volts. It only carries a current if there's a fault. But if it's going back and forth, how do they know that?
Because they're making it up as they go along.
Students should be able to explain that a live wire may be dangerous even when a switch in the mains circuit is open. Students should be able to explain the dangers of providing any connection between the live wire and earth.
You get electrocuted. There you go. That's the danger.
Yeah. Spooky.
Nom, 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 nom. I'm making this grape
and
eat
then
part of my plant. Nom, 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 nom.
I think that's quite enough fun for one day.
This doesn't really feel like physics. I think electricity should be its own one.
Physics is a bit of a mixed bag.
It's garbage.
Because sometimes it's just maths, and sometimes it's like, these are the wires in your plug.
Yeah. What's a physician is a doctor, though, isn't it? A physicist is a physics person.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Right, and on that bombshell. See you for the quiz.
Whoop. We're back. We've had a little break.
We've had a long break, actually, for us. Not that the listener would know,
Yeah, it
because we're
has
so
been quite
bloody
long.
seamless.
We are seamless, bloody seamless little chunder wizards we are. No, chunder wizards wasn't nice, was it?
Not particularly appropriate, to be honest.
What even would a chunder wizard be?
Someone that throws
Just
up
that's
a
how you
lot.
cast spells, by just projectile vomiting on stuff.
It's nice that that's what you think of our podcast.
Oh my god, the other day in Minecraft, Tom found a witch's hut.
Yeah, the witches are
I've never found a
meanies.
witch's hut before.
In the swamp?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah. And then he went to bed, he killed her, went to bed in her bed, and then woke up and another witch had appeared.
Interesting.
2 little witches living together.
Minecraft pushing its woke agenda. Suppose they were just good friends.
Ooh, I love that in history, where they're just like, and these 2 ladies lived together and wrote lots of books about how they hated men, and in one bedroom, what close friends they were. Best friends.
Yeah, no, and is it Chopin, where there's loads of letters between him and like some other dude, but like basically just talking about how much they want a pork, and then no, just confirmed bachelors for life.
I really enjoyed listening to it was You're Dead to Me the other day, and there was a great episode about I think it's called Frederick the Great. This is how much of the facts go in, but he was just out as gay, and he was like the king of Germany or something. God, none of the facts went in my brain, but yeah, was cool.
Frederick the
anyway,
Great,
a physics quiz.
Another podcast, Frederick the Great bit in Dan Carlin's Pain for Tainment. Yeah, it's a very interesting bit about Frederick the Great, because Frederick the Great was the guy that he was trying to phase out the death penalty, but the public was still calling for, like, you know, public executions and stuff. So what he did was he had the people killed before they were tortured, and then basically the torturers would just torture a dead body in front of everyone. And it's like, he was against, like, inflicting pain as a punishment. Interesting guy.
Do you think somebody had the job of, like, sitting under the scaffolding going, ow, oh, like making the noises while they, like, twitched the corpse and, oh, stop it, that's rude.
I hope so now.
I would like that job.
Oh no, please stop beating me.
Not my toenails. Oh, this hurts. It hurts.
So hot.
Not my beautiful eyes.
I'm feeling all of the pain right now.
On a scale of 1 to 10, this is 11.
Oh, and if I wasn't going to die, I would never break the law again. This is working.
What a deterrent. Consider me deterred.
Anyway, are you ready for a physics quiz?
I am, yes.
Can you remember what we were studying?
No, and I'm also quite worried because I've made some notes. It was physics. It was electricity, wasn't it? We played on the computer for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've torn out a page of my notebook, so I just hope that wasn't more notes.
Okay.
I don't know.
So there are 6, I reckon.
A page just fell out from an earlier episode where it says carbon atom, Chadwick Boseman. What do you think that meant?
I have no idea.
Swiss atoms, electrons, gloomy Gus. Anyway, yeah, I remember we played with parallel circuit.
Yeah, maybe it's 5 marks, actually. The second one, I'm just going to give you a marks out of either 1, 2, or 3, depending on how I feel about what you answer. Okay, question 1. How do you calculate the total resistance of resistors in series?
You measure the... You measure one of the things. Is it going to be current or volts? You measure the voltage at the beginning and the end of the circuit. Oh no, that's a big sigh.
But this is just because I've just edited episode 15, which is where I introduced the concepts of potential difference and voltage, and you refused to recognise. I said that voltage is always the same across a circuit, you know, like, if you plug it into the wall, it's always going to be the same. And then you just went, so it's always 240 volts, and then refused to. Anyway.
So you measure the current. You measure the current at the beginning and the end of the circuit.
You know the resistance of the resistors. It's just how do you work out the total resistance of the circuit?
Add them up.
Yes. 1 mark.
I thought I was going to say that as a joke answer.
No. When they're in series, you just add them up.
Oh. Oh, well, I think that was a badly phrased question then, but I'll take the point anyway.
You know what? I'll give you an extra mark for trying to do it with the formula.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. Wicked! Woohoo! I'm already on 200% for this quiz. Hoof, hoof, hoof-a-doof, doof, doof. I've just done a yoga session. I feel really good.
It's very high energy for yoga. Anyway, we've been chatting too long about Prussians getting tortured to death. We need to crack on. What does the brown wire do?
Brown is the live wire.
And it does?
The current.
Yes, it carries the current.
Out of the wall into the light bulb.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Ding. Excellent. What is the unit of frequency?
Hertz.
Yes. Ooh.
Yes.
Okay. Final question. This is the one that I'm going to give you marks based off how well I think you answer in.
Okay, I'll use my best voice.
Why is the resistance of two resistors in parallel less than one of the resistors on its own?
What? Why is the resistance
of two resistors in parallel less than the resistance of one of the resistors on its own?
Is it because the charge is split going round the circuit in different directions, so there's less charge coming through it, so they have less to resist?
No.
Okay, I'll try again. Is it because the charge goes round the circuit and, it's resisting me?
It was good. Nice callback, but no.
Thank you. I don't know the answer to that one, Ron. I don't think we talked about that.
We did. It's because there's more routes for it to go, not because there's less current going through them.
Oh, but that's the same answer.
No.
It is.
No, it's it's not.
But I still got full marks because I got that bonus point.
Yeah, but this one was out of 2 or maybe 3, depending on how you answered it, so...
Oh, what would I have had to have said to have got 3?
That there's more sort of routes for the electrons, so...
That is what I think. If you listen back, I did say that.
Am I editing this one?
I don't know. No, it's an even number. That's me.
Well, I'm not going to listen back then. 0!
Jackass. Fine. All right. Well, still not bad. How many did I get there?
Like 4 out of 5 or 6.
You weren't even counting, were you?
Yes, 2 for the first one, 1 for the second one, 1 for the third one. I was just adding it up.
All right.
Physics just always gets our backs up, even if we're just doing the quiz.
So there we go. I'm going to do my best this week to sync up the sound to the electric videos so you can see. If I can't get my head around that editing, then there might just be some silent videos watching batteries burst into flame. But
GIFs.
I will... GIFs. Yeah.
Make some GIFs.
Yes. Aren't we modern? No. I've put a link as well to the to the website that we were playing with there, Colorado.edu, so you can have a play with that yourself if you want to, or if that is a good learning tool if you yourself are revising GCSEs. Not much outgoing announcement-wise. We've got something like 6 hats left, I think. There's only 2. Bobble hats are gone. We've got 2 Don't Just Say Stuff hats, and I think 4 or 5 down hats. So go grab those if you want them. Listen, I have looked into this week whether or not we can make little bunts and notepads. At the moment, it's looking a bit unaffordable because in the numbers that we'd be ordering them, I think they'd end up being about £20 each plus postage and packaging, which I just think silly. So I think it might be worth holding out until more people want them, and then we can order more and it massively brings down the cost. So if you would want one, you don't have to commit to anything, but just give us a little wave somehow and then we know what we're playing with rather than trying to guess so that we're not massively out of pocket. Yeah. Anything else, Ron?
So I did want to say that, we're a big fan of a seasonal podcast here at Lexx Education headquarters. Very soon you'll be hearing the Halloween episode, which makes me happier than I've ever been. We've been discussing a lot on what to do for a Christmas episode. My favourite idea currently is just watch the first hour of a movie, because that's what you had to do at school in all of your classes. So if that sounds funny, I'm very interested to hear what movies everyone else watched in these classes, because for us, in my classes, it was always just whatever DVD the teacher could grab before they walked out the room.
For me, it was always Mr. Bean.
I could watch a couple of episodes of Mr. Bean.
I love Mr. Bean. Nothing makes Mr. Bean and Youth and Framed are honestly some of my favourite watching experiences in the whole wide world.
The ones that I remember is I once watched Avatar, but just the first hour of that 3-hour extravaganza, and then once we watched The Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Jeez. Do you think the teacher, then watched the next hour with the next class and then the final hour? Or do you think they just watched the first hour 3 times?
Oh, I think they stared out of the window. Probably.
Well, we could do that, or, not to spoiler the Halloween episode, we've kept that sciencey. Perhaps we could do a science episode like, how could you get a reindeer to fly?
Let us know your thoughts, listeners. We're open to it. I'm sorry, I didn't know how to react to that. That's not fucking science, Laura. That's magic. It's not science. Reindeers can't fly.
Be science.
Well, put it in a plane. Do you want me to just explain the physics of aeroplanes?
How big are wings would a reindeer need?
Well, no, I'm not going to work these things out. No, we're not doing that.
Okay, we'll watch a film. Okay, all right, listen, anyway, we love you, and we'll be back next week with biology. Yes. Okay, over to you, Ron.
If you want to get in touch with us, just Google us. Nothing else is called Lexx Education. You'll find it. If you're listening to this, you already know where we are.
Yeah.
Ta-ra. Class dismissed.
There we go. That's all I wanted. Okay, love you. Bye.